Hey there guys, it's Jeff, and today we're going to talk about Zenon the sequel. Now, normally Disney Channel movies don't really get part 2s and 3s to their movies. I mean, sure, there's the Halloween Town and High School Musical and a few others, but when they made a sequel to Zenon, you know that was a big movie. Now, the movie takes place 2 years later, and Zenon is now 15 years old, still living on the space station. Now, the very first thing I noticed, and I think everybody else noticed, was Nebula is played by a different girl. That's not Raven. I think it would have been better if they just said it was a different girl. I mean, who are they trying to fool? That looks nothing like Raven. They just got another girl and said, oh, that's Nebula? I mean, what happened to Raven? I guess she couldn't be in this movie, but still. Now, to be fair, this girl does do a pretty good job. I mean, at first it's like, man, this isn't Raven. It's kind of hard to watch. But once you watch almost the whole movie, you realize this girl as Nebula, she's pretty cool. So, what's the story? Just like in the first movie, this movie has a lot of crazy stuff going on. Zenon is put to work in the Alien Patrol Lab to keep a lookout for aliens. We are also introduced to this military guy. He comes in and he wants to take the space station apart. So yeah, remember the first movie, that's what they want to do? Well, it's the same thing again. Except this time, this guy has a reason for wanting to take apart the space station. The space station has been out of orbit, and the space station is going out of orbit, and it's slowly breaking apart the entire station. So this guy's ordered to break it apart into pieces, and all the people that live in that section have to be shipped off to go live onto Earth. Well, at least he's not a murderer like the CEO guy in the first movie. But get this, not only does this guy want to take apart the space station, he also is the father of Margie. Oh my gosh, why? Why would they bring this girl back? She was so annoying in the first movie, and then they bring her back like she's like the coolest character? I mean, come on. Why didn't they just write her off like they did with Greg? Yeah, remember Greg, the guy that Zenon liked in the first movie? In the beginning of the movie, we see Zenon talking to Greg through the sap pad, and she says he dumps her. That's it. And then we never hear from him again. Why couldn't they just do that to Margie? Or better yet, not even mention her at all? I wouldn't have cared. I mean, of course I would remember her from the first movie, but... And what's worse is that Zenon is ordered to babysit Margie, so the whole good chunk of the movie, we see her and Margie do all these scenes together. Now, here's a theory that I thought for this. I think since Margie was the only returning character from the first movie, they wanted to use her more than this new girl that plays Nebula. I mean, I'm sure if Raven came back, we would have saw much more Nebula, but I think they didn't want to give too much screen time to just some girl they replaced. And they said, well, Margie's returning character, let's give her some more screen time. That's just my theory, but that's kind of what it looks like because all the other kids didn't return. Only of course Zenon did, and just Margie. So I think they just said, let's just use Margie more, since I would have much rather have seen more Nebula than Margie. Okay, so let's get back to the story. Zenon starts hearing alien sounds in the Alien Patrol Lab, and she thinks there are aliens out there. Nobody believes her. So, now that she thinks they're aliens, she comes to the conclusion the alien sounds she's hearing is a zoom zoom noise. And she says that's the song from Protozoa's Supernova Girl. So she comes to the conclusion that the aliens are big fans of Protozoa and they want to meet him and hear him sing. Now, I gotta admit, that's a pretty crazy idea, but that's what she thinks, and she goes out and gets Protozoa on Earth. So a big chunk of the movie too is just her and Margie having to go look for Protozoa. Now, the reason they have to go find Protozoa is because he went into hiding. He says something because he's done everything and he needs to go hide in a spot where no one can find him so he can think of a next big thing he can do because he thinks he's done it all. So, after she goes over there, they search for him, they convince him to go sing, they get in a spaceship, they fly all the way to the spot to meet the aliens, and then they meet the aliens. Now, when we see the aliens, it's not just something you see from like E.T. or something. It's not like some creature guy like E.T. You see this cool floating glowing spaceship that has bright lights and rainbow colors, and then when they go inside the spaceship to talk to Zenon, you just see this glowing beam of light, and then they use her brainwaves to talk. I wish we could have saw more of these aliens. Those aliens were so cool. That was completely unexpected from what I was thinking of. I mean, when they said aliens, I just didn't really think what they would look like. But seeing how they're just this glowing ball of energy, it was kind of cool. I wish we could have saw more of that. But it was still pretty cool. We got to see at least some of it. And it has this cool, like, mysterious kind of alien music that plays when they search for it, when they finally meet it. So, the aliens say they've been lost, and they've been trying to... The aliens tell Zenon that they've been lost, and they want to borrow the star charts from their space station so they can get back home. And then, they take them back to the space station, and they hook up... They get all the pieces they've broken back on this... hooked up back onto the space station, and they put it back into orbit, thus saving the space station and making Zenon look like a hero. We also see Margie stop being such a spoiled girl and start being nice. I mean, I did give her a hard time hating her through the whole movie, but during the search for Protozoa, she does explain why she's so mean. So, in a way, you do feel kind of bad for her, but it's at this point, it's like, okay, all that time we saw Margie, it was because she was going to become a better person. So then it's like, okay, I guess Margie's cool now because at least she wasn't going to act like that throughout the whole movie. At least she's like, gained a new character trait and started being cool. And her and Zenon start to be friends. But you know what's funny? Protozoa was actually kind of unnecessary in this movie. I mean, in the first one, he was a big part of the first one. In this one, he's kind of just there, and then you think Zenon goes and gets her, and then he brings her there, and then the aliens don't even care for him. But he does sing a new song at the end of the movie, The Galaxy Is Ours. It is pretty good. It's no Supernova Girl, but it's still pretty good to listen to, and it's a new song. So that's Zenon the Zequel. It's a much crazier story than the first, but I will say the first one is a tiny bit better. I mean, they still use all those cool future words like in the first one, and the clothes are just amped up even more futuristic. I mean, the first one had cool clothes. This one, she wears all these cool new clothes. Like, she's wearing this blue-green outfit. She wears a silver and pink outfit. She wears like a red one. They just went all out with the fashion in this movie, and I really like that a lot because I'm a big, like I said in the first one, I'm a big fan of the look of this movie. But this isn't the end for Zenon. There's still just one more Zenon movie. I mean, we can't end with just 2 movies. Join me next time as we talk about Zenon Z3 as we put this whole trilogy to a complete collection.